If you told either one of us 10 years ago that we'd be standing in front of a multi-million-dollar home on the Gulf of America, we might have thought you were crazy, but the truth is, it happened.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a little crazy from where we've come, because back then, it just wasn't something that was probably even a reality. We were just trying to survive day to day.
And that's what this episode's about. Not just this house, not the view, not the flex. It's about the lessons that changed everything for us.
It's been a journey. We made a lot of changes, a lot of good for a lot of people.
Mentor versus student, experience versus hunger, mistakes versus growth. We're laying it all out today.
Stick with us to the end. You'll learn a little insight into who we are, some of the things that we've done for other folks.
This is kind of a behind the scenes into Mr. Beach and Mr. Levi, the men that are living on the Emerald Coast.
Living on the Emerald Coast.
Let's go. We're walking this property with you today because the environment matters, and a place like this forces you to dream bigger, think bigger, and remember what's possible when you stop making excuses and start taking action. Selling sunset, baby. Selling sunset.
So take a breath, take a moment, look at this view of this place, and get ready, because the conversation is going to get real.
Boom. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm John, aka Mr. Beach. This is my mentor, Levi.
Yep, and I run the other channel called Living on the Emerald Coast, like my fellow John here.
I run the channel Living on the Emerald Coast. It's funny, when I first moved here, Levi was the biggest influencer on YouTube. And I saw what he was doing, and I was like, man, I want to be that guy. I want to replicate what he's doing. And it took 2 years to get to this channel where it's at, but through perseverance, I finally gotten up to the level, I think, of Levi. We're right there and there.
Yeah, no, he's gone in for me. I would say he's surpassed me in many ways. John runs an incredible channel, and it's been cool to grow together, honestly.
Well, yeah, no, he actually became my mentor. Funny thing about that is we got a phone call from Levi one day, and he's like, hey, you guys are new to the area. You saw my YouTube channel, and you're like, have you ever thought about coming over to LPT, which is our realty company we're a part of?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you're the guy that I chase. And you're chasing me.
If you can't beat him, join him. You know what I mean? Yes. I saw John was a rising star. He's got super talented. Honestly, he's better than me in a whole lot of things, and he's super likable. So,
well, it took us a long time to get to the point where there was actually people contacting me from the channel, but Levi was absolutely cleaning up, and that was which was so beneficial for me, was the fact that you had done business for a very long time. How long have you been on the real estate industry?
So I actually just checked it a couple months ago. I just looked at my license, and it is 8 years and about 3 months.
So basically, all the wisdom that he's imparted with me on those 8 years is absolutely incredible. One thing that you'll find in real estate is, and this is what I've noticed, is a lot of people don't stay in it for long because they wind up actually outgrowing it and going into other ventures.
Sure.
And that's part of the growth that what happens, and that's why you want to find a real estate agent that's helping others reach their goals. What is it for you as a real estate agent that brings you the most satisfaction?
It doesn't feel like sales. I've always said that, right? I don't think I could be a good car salesman, because you can't let that person leave the lot. And it's not necessarily about the relationship, it's about the sale. But in real estate, you get to build relationships with people. You get to know them, their families, and you don't have to sell them one home. It's about finding the right home. We're helping them sell their home, right? So you build the relationship, the trust, and it's honestly still exciting, even 8 years into it, because you get to be a part of that journey with people. You are just the means to getting them there in one of the largest investments of their life. And it's pretty cool to win some good deals for them too.
Bro, come on, man. We're filming here, bro. Look, he's like, I don't care.
Pulling up.
Well, what I found, Levi, is, actually helping people through the process is the best way to do things.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I started my channel. When I first moved here, there wasn't a lot of information on Panama City Beach all the way to Destin, which is pretty much what I serve. And then you serve Pensacola through Destin, which is great because if you're looking for a house in either of those places, we refer people all the time to each other.
We'll take care of you. If you're looking on the Panhandle, the Emerald Coast, honestly, you've got the best sources right here.
Yeah, well, we like to think so anyways. we try, and and it really makes a difference when you come from a place of service, when you're helping the people make the right decisions, whether that's an investment property or whether they're moving down here for their own residence like we did, and that's why I started the channel, is because there wasn't a lot of wealth and knowledge out there talking about families moving to the Emerald Coast. And since I've done this, and I tell you what, guys, I'm gonna get a little personal here, but I feel blessed by my God and the fact that he really put some of these things in play for me and really allowed me to pivot. My background, I was a video production guy. I came down here and thought I was going to clean house doing multi-million-dollar videos.
Right.
But it turns out that God had a deeper plan for me, and that plan was actually selling real estate. And what a great experience that is.
Well, you took something that you already knew and brought it into this business, which is super valuable to the people on the other end of this, because they're relocating here, whether it's job, family, retirement, you name it. It's kind of their eyes on the ground, and you're showing them the truth of like what it's like to live here. You know, not just, you know, $1 million homes, but actually the lifestyle here, you know, affordability, how to get a deal, where should you live, the important things to families.
Yeah, and the connections that you can make within this community too. I think that's another thing that I'm really strong on, is bringing people into my fold, whether it's my church, whether it's my men's group, which by the way, the house that we're in today, Arlen from my men's group, he actually runs my men's group, owns Destined Dreamers in this beautiful house that we're filming in today. You know, it's just getting those connections with the people. And a lot of times when you meet people through this YouTube channel, there are people that are coming down here wanting to make connections with other people. And I feel like that's what I'm really good at.
Starting over, yeah. No, it's awesome. I relocated here too, like you. Now I was always in Florida, but same thing. You know, it was such a new start, a new experience. Super exciting. I remember that, and it was, I kind of miss it in a sense because everything was so new, right? Things to do, getting to know people, making friends. And so it's kind of like you've given people the ability to get a head start on that, really.
Yes, absolutely. So my first 5 deals, I want to talk about real estate and how challenging it was for me. Because look, no matter what you do in life, there's going to be a bit of an imposter syndrome when you first started.
Yep.
And those first 5 deals that I had, thank God for Levi, because he was my rock through these deals. And they were the hardest deals I think that I've ever done. And we've done a lot to date. I mean, I've done a lot of work in the last 2 years. But those first 5 deals, I think it was God's test to me, going, all right, dude, I'm throwing you in the fire. And if you can get through these 5 deals, I think you might have a chance.
You learn so much through that. And that's why, like, it's really so valuable to have an experienced agent, a professional, because a lot of people just kind of go with whoever they think. We just open doors, right? We're glorified door openers. But it's the things that we've learned through these, the negotiations, the inspections, the insurance hurdles. There's a lot more when you're making the biggest investment in your life. And it helps to like the person too.
Well, I tell you what, man, I've bought several houses through my career. There are a couple of agents now that I look back on and I'm like, wow, why didn't they tell me this? Why didn't they? And I think it all begins with communication and being really open and honest with how you do business and how you're going to take care of them through what is basically the largest investment of their life.
The statistic is that like 80% plus of agents don't stay in the business for more than a year or two. And so, you know, chances are 80% you're either dealing with somebody that just hasn't sold that many homes, or the top agents are incredibly busy and don't always have the time. So it's finding somebody that can service you to the best ability, but actually knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you say that, because right now we're in my Mr. Beach team is in a period of transitional growth to where I'm having other agents come underneath me. And you got to be really selective when you're picking the people that you're working for, especially when people trust you on this YouTube channel and you have to deliver them an agent that's as capable as you are to handle those problems. But that's part of it, man. I mean, there's only so much Levi and John to go around, right?
Right. But, you know,
my wife would probably have a second opinion on that.
What have been some of your challenges in growing and meeting people through this YouTube channel?
Well, I mean, the response was pretty slow. I think at first it took me maybe 8 months until I got my first deal, my first real deal from YouTube. Yeah. But it was kind of like, you know, it was just like the floodgates opened all of a sudden. And then all of a sudden I had all these people reaching out to me. And it was, how can I super serve these people the best?
Right.
And sometimes the best way that I can serve people is to say, hey, let this person take care of you. Like here in Destin, Scott Martineau, he's done some videos with me, great agent. Yeah. He's somebody I trust, and I can't get all the way to Destin all the time. I live in West Panama City Beach. Yeah. Same thing with Panama City. You know, I got Aaron Wright over there in Panama City, and I give him my clients because I know he's a very capable agent.
But you trust who you trust, right? Like if you you ask a family member, they're the ones that refer you to a realtor, or you're having renovations done on your house, you trust the experience of somebody you know personally to be able to hand that off. And that goes a long way.
Absolutely. And I try to keep my hand on it the whole time and make sure that they're being super served and taken care of. But that's part of growth. There's only so much of us to go around.
That's exactly right.
All right, Levi. So one thing I really wanted to talk about, and I don't know if you've gone through this, I did, but it's using pain as fuel.
Yeah.
Have you ever had opportunity where the pain actually gave you the fuel to be a better agent?
Yeah, definitely. I think I thrive on that a little bit. It hasn't been something that has been as prevalent anymore in recent years, but definitely when you're kind of down and out, when you're struggling, is sometimes when you're the most tenacious. There are a lot of years in the beginning of my career, I think you've probably jumped, honestly, faster than I have. I mean, way faster. My first couple of years, I was not making the big bucks, but I knew I loved real estate and I just stuck with it. But it's a commission game, and so there were a lot of months, there were a lot of times when I was stressed out and money wasn't coming in. And it's such an interesting place to be, because you don't want your lawyer, your dentist, your doctor, you don't want them to be in a place of needing money, right? Because it creates a sort of an odd relationship. And so it does help to actually have somebody who's sort of more successful in a sense, because you're able to just guide from a place of not needing the deal to close, more from the place of the person that you're helping.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I was going through exactly that in my first couple deals. It was really hard for me. I mentioned those 5 first deals that I did being the hardest of my life, and they really were. It was a test, but I think also, the test was from God, from my God. You believe what you want to believe. I believe in Jesus, and I believe that old me had to be breaking down to the point to where it was completely gone. And we had this conversation. It was about a year ago, and money was starting to get really tight for me. I had ran through a lot of my savings, and I think for me personally, that was God just breaking me down to where he needed me to build me back up in the version of me that he saw me as and wanted me to see myself.
Yeah.
And it's really allowed me, it was like a huge weight was lifted from my shoulders, because then it wasn't about me anymore. I was focusing my energy on him and letting him guide my path. And it's amazing when you do that, guys. I'm trying not to get too preachy here, I promise. But when you do that, the expansion of people that come into your life that feel and think the same way you do.
They feel your energy, man.
They feel your energy, exactly.
Yeah, 100%. It resonates from you when you get over that hill, that battle of, it's like the biggest treasure is on the other side. And then you're just coming from a place of gratitude and it just attracts like-minded individuals.
It does. And then talking about gratitude too, being grateful, that was another thing that I really had to break down for me personally in my old life to real estate now, is just being grateful for all the clients that I have.
Yeah.
And being grateful that they trust me enough through this huge decision that they're making in life.
We've made a lot of friends through this. It's crazy.
Look, all my friends now came from this YouTube channel. So this is kind of why I wanted to do this one. This is a little bit different than the content that I normally create, but I wanted to do this for those people that have made an impact in my life. And believe me, you guys that call me, 850-943-7777 or john@mrbeachteam.com. You like that plug?
I like it.
That was a good plug.
I like it.
You guys that call me, I wind up having the best friends from this YouTube channel.
Yeah.
What is that for you? Is it the same for you?
Oh, it's incredible. I spent the beginning of my career doing a very traditional paying for leads, cold calling people that didn't want to hear from me.
Yes.
And just trying to pry out business. I call it interruption marketing. Because whether you're shoving an ad in front of somebody or cold calling, they're not looking for you, but this is reverse engineered in the sense that we're just showing you guys what it's like to live here, what the lifestyle's like. Where do you go eat the best food? Where would you spend time with your family? And in return, people feel like they learn to like and trust us. They see who we really are, and then we get to help them, meet them, and it's just, it's an organic, awesome process.
So Levi, I gotta ask you, what is your best performing video and why do you think it performed so well?
So my best video is actually Destin, and it's just basically showing Destin, the lifestyle. I don't even really talk much about real estate. I threw a little bit in there in the end, but people want to see it. And whether they're going on vacation, they're thinking about living here, just from top to bottom, it's everywhere. The best place to eat, the best things to do with your family, the lifestyle, some good, some bad.
That video is still just crushing to this day.
It is. It's ridiculous.
We'll have to put a link to the video in the comments below so you can can check that out.
What's your best video?
Well, my best video, the best performing one was the public versus private beaches over here in 30A, which is a big source of contention. So
controversy.
Well, when I first started my videos, what I really wanted to do, being in radio for as many years as I was, that's what I did for 25 years before I started my own business as a video production person. I always knew that controversy sold. So my first 5 videos were the 10 worst things about living here, the 15 reasons why I wouldn't move here again,
right.
And the most sticking point possible is the public versus private beaches.
But people really want to hear that too.
Well,
you know, it might be clickbait in a sense, but it's like if you're moving somewhere, you want to hear what's bad about it, not just the fluff.
Listen, I had a lot to get out in those first couple of videos, but because, I mean, when I got here, everything had been easy for me in everything that I've done in my life to that point.
Right.
But that first 5 months I was here in January, I remember taking this camera here and going out and starting to shoot YouTube content, turning this camera around on me for the first time ever, and me telling my truth. There was a lot of animosity there because I felt like things weren't as easy as they were other places.
Sure.
And I didn't realize in January it absolutely dies here. And if you don't have something in place, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble, which is exactly what happened with me. I mean, thank God we had some savings built up. And these are the things that people that live here, that want to move here, need to know. Listen to me. If you don't have a nest egg before you move here and you're looking to make a fresh start here, be very careful because, you know, you could experience what I experienced moving into a place that was experiencing a down market at the time.
Yeah, we have a slow season without a doubt. It's funny because in some ways, one of my favorite times of the year.
It is now.
You got the beaches to yourself for the most part. But yeah, I mean, if you're not coming on a fixed income,
yes,
a lot of things are affected by that.
Yes. So we see a lot of remote workers moving here. What is the percentage of remote workers that you have compared to people that are actually moving here for W-2 jobs? You're a little bit different because Pensacola is a little bit more of a commercial market.
Yeah, I think it's gone up since COVID. There's a lot more people that have just transitioned to working remote. I do sell and help people a lot of times with investment, secondary vacation homes, that kind of thing. That's been a big part of my business. But I get a lot of people too, it's hard to put a number on it, but I get a lot of people too who are coming here. Sometimes it's just been a dream to move to Florida. And it's that simple.
Well, it is a dream.
It is.
And how lucky are we that we get to live it, you know?
It's pretty awesome. It's hard to imagine many other places that I would ever want to. And I would talk to my wife about that. Like, where else would we ever go, start over? And there's not many places.
No, I mean, we're sitting here in middle of November, Thanksgiving's next week, and literally, guys, I'm sitting here sweating. It's so hot in this room. So
I went swimming yesterday. It was a little cold.
My girls were in the ocean last week. Like, they don't care. It's fun. And, you know, that's part of living here is you always have recreational things to do.
Yeah, always.
All right, Levi, I want to talk to you about building a brand.
Okay.
Before you even need it. And a lot of people looked at me when I was crazy when I started referring myself as Mr. Beach.
I love it.
Listen, and look, it was a launch for me to do that, but I had done it in radio for so long, going by different names.
Have you said how you came up with that name?
So we were looking. My daughters like to watch the YouTube channel.
See, I love this.
And they were watching YouTube, and they were like, "Dad, you're like Mr. Beast. You're Mr. Beach." And I was like, "Kid,
you're gonna have to pay her for that,
dude." Listen, I will throughout my life. Don't worry about that. Thank you, Ruby and Poppy, very much for coming up with
She'll
Mr.
get
Beach.
dividends.
How did you come up with your marketing?
So I've learned more and more over the years, just being in this business, how much it really is a marketing business. I mean, almost more than anything else, it's marketing. And so branding yourself, creating, a reputation, and YouTube has just been huge to that. Obviously, you know, but because people get to see you, right? It's not just sold posts online. You get to build that relationship. You know, I've tried to brand myself as somebody who's honest, genuine, and just authentic, and a little bit catered to, being a professional, right? I want to be known as somebody who's going to win a good deal for you.
Well, and he is. I mean, as far as negotiations are concerned, I can't think of anybody that I could have possibly imagined to be a better mentor. And I've gotten to the point now to where I've hired coaches, dude. And I want to tell you that, dude, you know more about the real estate industry than anybody I've ever worked with.
I appreciate that.
I did, well, and I think it's a God thing, man. I think he put me and you and I together because I needed you.
Yeah.
And I would not have gotten to where I'm at without you.
I'm passionate about this business. I think that's what it takes, because a lot of people, this industry has been not ruined, that's probably the wrong word, but with, you know, all these Netflix shows.
Oh gosh.
Where you go to the Starbucks and you get a frappe and you sell $1 million home. The perception of this
and
industry.
You see the little line on the bottom that says $108,000 commission over this home?
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, all right, this looks good.
Just ran into it in the store and sold the house. No, I'm super passionate about this business. Every deal I've pretty much ever done has always sort of been a learning curve. I mean, not so much anymore, but like you learn so much that you know how to help your clients even more on the next one.
I've learned this is what it's something I've heard, and I really like this statistic. For every deal you do, it's about 6 months of experience.
Seriously,
in the industry, and you know, like we've done some work this year.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm a battled hard vet at this point, but that's great for my clients because now nothing shocks me. And speaking of that, and this is another thing that you taught me is, John, you have always got to be calm through the storm.
Yeah.
Don't ever get emotional because, and you know what, this is what I tell all of my clients before we get into a deal. Listen, congratulations on going under contract. Now the roller coaster ride begins. Guys, we're gonna go through ups and downs in this ride. My job is to keep you steady the whole time.
Easy deal.
Yes, never.
The idea is easy. You know, all right, I want the house. They're selling it, boom, deal done. Not quite, right? Inspections always seem to have something come up. You've got two different humans on each side. Sometimes the sellers are unreasonable. Sometimes the buyers are unreasonable. It's our job to not just keep everybody happy, but I mean, to win for our clients in a sense.
Well, and that's the art of the deal, right? The art of the deal is everyone has to win. The seller has to feel like they win. The buyer has to feel like they win. And listen, if you're a buyer that wants to try and take advantage of a seller, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't want to do business with you because that's not the way that my mindset thinks. My mindset is this should be a win-win for everybody. If you're here to take advantage of somebody,
right,
you're not somebody I want to work with.
Yeah, and it's a slippery slope because, I mean, you're not trying to take advantage of anybody, but you know, when we represent our clients, we're also trying to do the best for them. But in the same sense that you also have to make sure the other party's happy. They have to, or they can say no, you know, the deal's dead, right? And so bridging that gap. And then just one of the things that gives us so much credibility is the relationships that we have in the industry, from title companies, insurance agents, inspectors. That's the most important stuff once you get under contract.
Well, hooking you up with the right people too. I mean, guys, the fact of the matter is we do have a bit of a transient market here. There are people that will be here for 6 months and then they'll be gone. So, you know, you don't want to get an inspector that's been here for 6 months and then they're gone. You need somebody that's been here for a while, that has a reputation, that is going to protect that reputation to make sure that you have a property that you need and it's going to be the shape that you expect it to be in when you buy it.
Absolutely.
That's what we do. We connect you to these people. We're super connectors. All right, Levi, the next thing that I want to talk to you about, oops, sorry, my wife just texted me. All right, Levi, the next thing I want to talk to you about is doing the right thing even when it costs you money.
Yeah. So kind of goes back to what we were talking about, you know, when you're really needing a deal to close or you don't have the means, that can create a gray area. It's really good to have two agents that are not in that position, right? Because we can operate from the best standpoint. Having a relationship is so important because we can say that maybe this deal doesn't make sense for you. Like if you want it to happen, we'll make it happen, but I can help you get the next deal. We can back out, we can figure it out, we can adjust. That's so critical.
Well, it is, and you know, what I tell my clients a lot of the times, you know, it's an emotional business, and sometimes you get your head on one thing and you can't get it off of it. But I always say that God's rejection is your protection. So if there's a reason why something happened to you and it doesn't look like you're going to get the house, sometimes what I've found is sometimes the best thing to do is just kind of walk.
Yeah,
and 100%. Be okay with walking because there might be a reason why that door slapped shut on you.
But we're going to protect your deposit.
That's
important.
Well, and you know, it's funny that you mentioned that because I'm going through that with a current client of mine right now. They didn't want to sign the extension, and I'm like, hey, listen, the reason why we're signing the extension is because we have to protect your earnest money deposit.
Right.
And that's the thing with real estate too, that a lot of people don't know that is, I think, consider that one of my major jobs is you as a buyer, if you call me, is to make sure that earnest money that you put on the line, you can get back.
Absolutely. Something comes up, you're gonna put down a certain amount of money, you go under contract, we win, you're happy with the price, you're getting closing costs, well, you have to put down the earnest deposit with the title company. And then you have the due diligence period to pick apart the home, inspect it, make sure school zones are what you thought, crime zone, whatever it is, you're happy with your family. Things always come up. I mean, occasionally they don't, but for the most part, something always comes up. Sometimes the seller's not reasonable. It's super important. I've never lost a client's earnest deposit. That's important to me.
I haven't yet. Thanks.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. Hold on. Knock on some wood.
No, but we know, and that's where we try to guide, through the process. We're gonna let you know as we're approaching that date, like, hey, now's the time. If we have a hiccup, how do you want to proceed?
Yeah. All right, Levi. So I want to talk to you about what makes this area so special. You operate on the west side of everything in Destin. I operate everything on the east side. I want to know what you think makes Navarre and Pensacola such a special place.
I've lived in Florida my whole life. I've been all over Florida. It's like, paradise meets southern hospitality.
Good. Good. I love that.
Where I'm at, everybody jokes that's an extension of Alabama. I wouldn't give it that title.
Southern Alabama.
No, I wouldn't give it that title. But people always say it is literally a different feel here. I work with people that come from South Florida, New York, big cities, and they're like, it's a different pace. People are nicer. They open the door, but you also have paradise. And at the same time, it's somewhat more affordable than a lot of those bigger markets.
Oh yeah, no. And that's what, it was funny when Sarah and I were making the move here, we were either going to go to Tampa or we were going to go to here. This is where we always vacation with our family, and something in me was just saying, go to where you've always been.
Yeah.
It feels like home anyways.
Tampa's exploded. It's a way higher price point on average.
Well, and there's a lot more things out there like crime that you don't have to deal with here. I mean, we do have crime, but we don't have it at the level of, especially where I'm at. Over where I'm at, it's crazy, guys. Like, I came from Memphis. I was in Memphis for 3 years, which has one of the highest crime rates in the country. And I literally had PTSD when I moved here because Sarah would go wash the car, and that's where people got robbed in Memphis. They got robbed at the car wash. So when she said that the very first time, I got apprehensive, and then I go, what am I doing? I don't have to worry about that here.
It's wild. No, seriously, I mean, I'm not advising this, but it's kind of the environment that you could go in the gas station and leave your car running and run into the place and not really think about that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
And most of the panhandle's like that.
Yes, no.
So, but what about you? I mean, what brought you guys here?
Well, I mean, what brought us here now is what I realized. Now it's a completely different thing than what I thought brought us here. What I thought brought us here was the beautiful beaches.
Coastal lifestyle.
What really brought me here was God, and was the relationship I've developed with Him, and actually leading my family while I'm here. I think that's the most important thing. It's become the most important thing in my life at this point, and it's just such a beautiful blessing that you get to experience this. And when I say this, guys, I'm not over exaggerating it. And if you're not a person that believes in faith or God, I understand. But for me personally, I feel like God is present in this area. When we were in Memphis, I didn't feel like there was a lot of God there.
Sure.
Here, I feel like, man, we are just surrounded by people that believe in the same kind of values that we do, and just reaffirming the fact that God does have me in the place that He wants me. All right, I'm sorry. I'm going to give a Clemson cry here.
That's awesome.
Talk amongst you.
Super grateful though too. Me too. The opportunities that came to me moving here, I never imagined. And my wife actually drugged me here. Her grandparents were here, and they were kind of in poor health. I was already in real estate, so it was easy to sort of be back and forth. But I was so kind of apprehensive or resistant because I'd grown up in basically one place my whole life, small town mindset. And I just thought, how can I start over? I don't know anybody. I don't know. And I can't imagine living anywhere else.
Yeah, I can't either.
On the coast.
And it's so much, guys, literally, I'm telling you, every day I have to pinch myself when I go out to my car and I forget my sunglasses, and I have to immediately run back in the house because I'm like, it's freaking bright outside all the time.
It's easy to forget once you live here long enough that it's kind of paradise. But it's cool because when we help people, they remind us all the time.
Well,
they're like, this is amazing. And I have to remind myself.
When you move here, it's so funny. When people on your Facebook, when they post stuff, and you're like, why is everybody in coats?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because I live in paradise.
Yeah.
So
That's how you can tell a tourist here is in the winter, you can tell who's in flip-flops and who's wearing the jacket.
Yeah, well, my wife wears her jacket 24/7. She's like, it's a different kind of cold here.
My wife too. She just forces fall. Doesn't really.
And we don't really have a fall here. That's the
no.
funny part. All right, walking and strolling with my good buddy George Brennan here from Setco in beautiful Rosemary Beach. Man, they don't make them like this, dude. I'm telling you.
No, they don't.
If you're coming down here, you got to take a trip. And don't just go to the touristy areas over here in Rosemary Beach. You need to go off into these little side places in between the houses because it really is beautiful. George, we're talking about title insurance. Tell us about why title insurance is important.
So John, title insurance is the only type of insurance that protects the past. You're protecting your property, the huge investment you made, especially in this area, protecting the title and making sure it's free and clear, and then you own it and there's no liens against it. It's a unique product. Most people are not very knowledgeable about it, but here at Setco, we make sure it's done right and you are insured for all your future and ownership of the home.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever run into a situation, obviously you have, is it to protect against like liens or if somebody's getting sued? Is that what it's all about?
Possibly, but it had to be from the past.
Okay.
It's not something that happens forward after you buy the property. It would have to be something that happened in the past.
Okay.
So a mortgage that got missed from 3 buyers ago. I've seen that. A lien on the property from construction that you didn't know about. That's what you pay your title company to do to make sure your property is free and clear. Title insurance is one of those things that you don't ever think about. It's just a closing cost until you really need it. And in Florida, we do have claims. It's a lot more prevalent than other parts of the country.
I hear that it was kind of the wild, wild west about 30 years ago here.
Yeah.
Is that a good assumption?
That is a very good assumption,
Okay.
especially here in the panhandle, the beautiful panhandle of Florida, that things weren't exactly done correctly.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
It was
These
another
things
day.
happen,
It's fine. They wrote them on the back of napkins. It's okay.
We're
That's why
cleaning
you
it
need
up.
title
We're
insurance.
cleaning it up.
All right, Levi, I got one more question for you. What do you think is the future of luxury real estate here? Here we are in this luxury house. We have experienced a down market for the last couple of years. What do you see happening in this area in the next 20?
Oh man, it's one of the best investments you can possibly make as a physical asset. We are in a bit of a down market right now. That's an advantage as a buyer.
Great time to buy.
Yeah, right. No, but seriously, there's limited inventory, limited land left to develop. And if you just look at history, real estate, it has always gone up. It's been pretty much a 5% annual return. Obviously that fluctuates, but people have made, generational wealth in real estate. But you also get something you get to enjoy, you get tax advantages. So what is luxury today can end up being luxury in 20 years because of the price appreciation.
Well, it's funny that you say that too, because back where I live right now, St. Joe owns all the land out there. So St. Joe is a big company that actually was a lumbering company back in the day, but then they came into the land development business. And this is what they're doing. If you look at their 50-year plan of what they have planned for this area, the growth is going to be absolutely exponential here.
Oh man.
If you have anything close to the beach, guys, I'm telling you right now, you think it's high priced, it's low priced. And if you look at if you could go back to yourself 20 years from now and say, I wish I would have bought that piece of land on the beach that was $380,000.
100%.
You should.
Well, and the thing about this area, even compared to like South Florida, is we're up at the top. And so we have so many people coming down from Tennessee, over from Louisiana. We have all that traffic, the families that visit, the vacations. It is probably just going to be a forever growing and appreciating area.
Yeah, I think, I don't have a crystal ball, but my thoughts are, in 20 years when I'm nearing retirement or I'm retired, I feel like this is going to be sort of like a smaller version of what Tampa Bay is today.
Yeah.
I think the area is just growing so rapidly that's probably what it's going to look like. If you can get anywhere close to the beautiful Emerald Coast at this point, it's definitely something you should look at.
I love when I get to help somebody who's owned a property for 20 plus years. And I think about this gentleman, his name was Frank. He's an old military vet, thank you for his services. But he bought this piece of property on Pensacola Beach, this little townhome, and he bought it for nothing, like 30 years ago. And he was able to sell it for close to $1 million.
Wow.
Had been paid off for decades. He lived on the beach the whole time. He finally got to the point where he didn't want the stairs, and he was able to give so much money to his children. Like, I mean, that to me is what buying luxury or any piece of real estate here.
Listen, I mean, we're not here forever, guys, but you can definitely create a legacy for your family investing in this area.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, brother, I appreciate it, man. I thank you from mentor to mentee.
No, friend.
Mentee, friend?
Friend.
Friend, brother.
For sure.
Dude, you've been the best mentor that I could have ever had, and I don't know where I'd be without you.
Well, you are, I don't even think of the relationship that way, man. I mean, we are friends, and you are as good as anybody in this business. Seriously, there's very few people that, you know, you can trust to refer business to, and John, you're too far away for me typically, so I'm more than trusting and know that you're just the best in the business.
Hey, speaking of, you're on my YouTube channel. Why don't you give out your information on how they can find you and how they can contact you?
Sure.
If you're interested in anything west of Destin.
So, same channel name, Living on the Emerald Coast. That part's not hard.
We're so creative.
Yeah, my name's Levi Fortner. I run a small team from basically Pensacola, some of Alabama. We do Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, and all the way to about Destin. And so in between the Panhandle. Honestly, if you're looking up and down the coast anywhere, between the two of us, no doubt about it.
850-943-7777, or you can reach me anytime at john@mrbeachteam.com. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's a little bit different than the other videos that I've done, but I thought it might be a good thing to show you a little bit of the inner workings about how our minds work, how we work for our clients, and how we can serve you better. If you like this video, please check out this one. This is one of my highest performing ones. Levi, don't hate. Participate.
Check out that video.